Good morning. Today is April 29th, 2025, about 9:31 in the morning Eastern Time. For the record, this is Yahweh Yahuwah. So, trying to find a decent balance between, doing the right, doing the video, all these different things. Everything just seems like it's a pain in the ass, quite frankly. But besides that point, a couple things. A couple things today. One thing that kind of gets my goat, though. You have what used to be the Washington Redskins that are now the Commanders. And they're putting forth X amount of money for the stadium. And then apparently the state is putting forth $1 billion of capital towards the stadium. These are the types of ideas that humanity inundates itself with out of ignorance, stupidity, and downright just mismanagement of money, resources. I just have to ask, because every human being, right, you guys do stuff for money. So as long as someone's putting money in that hand, you don't typically question the person above you. And these are the things I have issues with, right? What could $1 billion be used for in any state in the union other than a damn stadium? And then you hear out of the sides of these people's mouths, which I want to smack those mouths, jobs. No, you're not creating jobs. You're creating jobs for temp work, for temp workers to come in and help. Why do I know that? My mother does it for Raymond James Stadium. It's not permanent, equitable employment. So piss on your jobs. 2, it's to continuously broaden the unrealistic nature of human society and trade of practical things such as housing, rebuilding your water systems, rebuilding your electrical grid, reinforcing your structures for safer schools, driving. All these things humanity could be doing, but instead you waste your resources on stupid things like a football stadium. I shame you. Shame you. It's disgusting. And that's when I start getting that rage feeling that I can't even remain in flesh when I get that upset. I have to go into spirit. And when I go into spirit, that's when churches burn down. That's when earthquakes happen. That's when tornadoes, all these things. It's my emotional output at the idiocy of human beings. You guys would rather ignore the largest issues in your community, and no one has the moxie to want to solve the actual issues, and instead you draw people's attention away to matters that actually could potentially harm society more than help it. But it's all illusion. Humans of Earth are you guys are all a little magicians, right? You're little gods with illusory magic, and you have that, whatever, right? These kind words and these wonderful little things that draw each other to you, and then you're like little bees, you congregate and you It drives me crazy is what it does. So in short, don't do that. Don't do that. There's a lot of things I don't like, but that one really caught me. So next on our little business meeting, Israel in international court. Another thing. How is Israel in international court when Gaza still has hostages? By even entertaining the circus, you're playing into the devil's hands. Anybody, and that's what I mean, anybody with a correct mind would be able to see this is blatant actions against righteousness, against the goodness of the world. How can these people play dress up in cute suits and drive fancy cars and have their talking heads on cameras, and the world accepts it as that is the law? These are the people. Whatever they say, we do. Whatever their thoughts are their thoughts. That's what I mean, right? These select few people that you constantly see at the cameras, you see them in front of Washington, you see them at the international stage, the UN, whatever. Guys, it is the people. Every human being has a responsibility on this planet. Stop giving your energy to these vampires. Stop giving your souls, your money, your attention to energy vampires, to demonic souls who don't even know right from wrong. They would have to read right from wrong in a book, and even then they don't understand it at a soul level. Literally. This is the design of the devil, because if you have all the good people listening to bad people, then the good people are doing bad things because the bad people who are in charge say it's good. Guys, it's insane. You know, and on the international stage, right? Charging Israel with crimes of genocide? Are you fucking kidding me? Why is the Palestinians not in court for consistently, literally to their own words, creating genocide, right? All of the food and delivery that have been dropped into Gaza is literally being captured by Hamas and then given to their military ranks. So they're literally starving their own children and their own pregnant women, not even allowing them to leave the hot zone, and they're consuming their food. And yet Israel is standing in international court. So saith I, Yahweh, I will be laying down my wrath upon the United Nations and every single person in them. So sweareth I, Yahweh. I'm over it. I've given everybody much time and a lot of room to repent, turn your face away from evil, cleanse yourself so you can see clearly the wrongs that you do, but you do not. People do not. And so then it's going to take my hand, the hand of God, to create scenarios in your earth domain that are going to start eliminating the puppeteers, because I am the grand puppet master. And I'll be damned if I sit back and watch a bunch of little Dr. Evils do their thing. I'm going to start breaking people. And I'm going to break you where it hurts the most. I will destroy you and your families, and your countries, and your capitals. I will take my cosmic foot and I will stomp holes through the earth's crust in the places you suspect it not, to make my point. And if you continue to gather in evil and plot against my people and plot against the righteous of the earth, I will send Azrael on every single one of you to bring you to me. And that's another thing. You don't want to see me if Azrael's bringing you to me, because that means you've personally offended me. And there's a lot of you that do that. So this international court nonsense needs to stop. Needs to stop. Alright. Congrats to Canada and your new Prime Minister. So, I don't know much about Canadian politics, but I like a few of the buzzwords I heard. You know, I do like that Canada is modest. Truly. I do like that Canada is humble. You know, I really wish that the world could take some tips from that. You know, the U.S. needs to be more modest and more humble. You know, arrogance doesn't do any favors to anyone. Like, it doesn't. You know, walk softly, have a humble heart, be modest, be appreciative, and especially in the creation. And this has been one of my battles with humanity, right? Is you can choose to either be an invasive species, which you're acting like now, right? You're an invasive species. You're worse for the planet. You're worse for the animals. You're worse for each other. And you absolutely don't listen or obey me. So out of the 5 existence reasons, you're fucked up on all of them. All 5. Like, you just shit the bed across the board. That's what I mean. So if I was putting this in a more human dialect, let's say you have a dog that continues to shit in the house, continues to chew your shoes, continues to, you know, make a mess every time he eats, continues to want to bite you every time you even go to pet him, right? Doesn't obey, doesn't do anything. So then where is the fun or the pleasure or the want to even have that dog around? There wouldn't be, right? Because the purpose of the dog, right, is to bring you happiness and joy. And if some of those bad behaviors, right, can be unlearned by the dog or teached out of them, then you could save the dog and it could be a part of the family. But right now, the humans as dogs, you guys are bad for like I said, you're bad for creation, you're bad for yourself, you're bad for the animals. You have zero contributions to anything in creation, but your entire existence is about selfish purposes. How can we make something for us? How can we do this for us? You guys could care less about anything else other than you. You would burn down 100 acres or 1,000,000 acres of forest to make yourselves little save the earth keychain earrings. That's what I mean. Like, you guys are stupid. For as smart as you are, you're stupid. Because the bee can make a perfect honeycomb and the bee can make perfect honey, but the bee can't do calculus. The bee can't do all these things. Right? That's what I mean. A human being, you guys can build all your bullshit, right? And you guys can do all these wondrous things, but they're only wondrous to you. They're only wondrous for you. What an impious creature you are. What an impious animal you are. Insanity. Oh, I don't even know where else to go. I don't even know where else I'm trying to go here. Tired. Haven't slept much. If at all, honestly. I don't even know. Just drinking coffee at a crazy rate. But, you know, that's another thing. You know, Pope's gathering, Cardinals gathering. Your best thing to do would be to dismantle the Catholic Church and start telling your Christian brothers, because you're not my churches, you're not my people. You give 2 shits about me, so likewise I give 2 shits about you. Your existence relies on creating new and improved things that I can take back to the abode and I can give them into the realms. And most of your designs are not even accepted anymore. Most of your creations have become stupid, and therefore you're bees that are not producing quality honey anymore. You think it's quality honey, right? You think the newest movie, the coolest car, like the iPhone 90 fucking 1, like that's what I mean. You guys don't know modesty. You don't know self-control. You do not know when enough is enough. You do not know when the pursuit of a dollar is not a purpose. The pursuit of money is not a purpose. The building more shit to sell more shit is not a purpose. That is a defilement. And so many humans are proud of their defilement. You hold on to money like it's some type of good thing. You understand, in any other place other than Earth, it's considered a more of abomination the more things you have, right? Because if you have a lot of stuff, it typically means that You're going to use this resource for somebody else, but not a human society. Right? Think of the bees. They're all contributing to make sure that they all have enough to eat for the winter. Not one bee's going, well, this is my little spot here, no one touch it, this is my honey. Like, they'd die. And human beings, same thing. You know, you guys are all little kings and little gods of your own little universe, and you contribute nothing to the larger picture. You contribute nothing to creation, nothing to me. And then what use do I have of you? I don't have one. So, your little conclaves, your little Catholic Church, I'll have Azrael sitting right on top for you. I swear it. I will have her encamped on the Vatican, and I will have her take people at will. Challenge me. Because if we want to get sadistic, which it seems like the earth wants to continue to walk high-stepped and haughty with me, I'll show you. I'll show you just how vindictive your Elohim can be. I will start laying down big time. Because it's getting clearer and clearer that my disposition is probably not going to change. And the success of the Earth Project has already been in the dumpster. So I'm really wanting to take this time to learn more about me. Learn more about how my corresponding powers, being in the Earth domain, operate in a more strategic, in a more definitive way. Because you don't listen to me. You all put on fake little smiles, you stand in front of cameras, you do little interviews, and y'all think that your little ant congregation is so important. None of you are important. You're a bunch of bone bags, and after your little quick life ends, that's it. And unless I have any favor to you, or I see something in you that I can use in the heavens, you're going to be recycled garbage. You're recycled cans. You're useless. So, you could literally seek to change that and then change your outcome. Or you can continue pleasing mankind, right? You want to make your friends happy. You want to make politicians happy. You want to make a pile of money. You guys are so pathetic. You're pathetic. Your little 100-year lifespans, you're not crap. You're not even very good at anything, but you're so haughty and so prideful about your little human jobs. I will destroy your little human jobs. I will destroy your entire living spaces. I will. What good are you to me? You're a bunch of pain in my asses is what you are. I have no sympathy for you. Because, like I said, I could have 10 options. 9 of those options would be beneficial for at least me, the creation or kingdom, or something. And human beings would take the one that is just the selfish one versus the one that helps anything else. That's what I mean. How is your fake money system in control of your lives? Your money controls you. Your jobs control you. Other people control you. So you're not even a true human being. You are actually not a free agent. You are only as good as the shit you compare it back that your elders, your seniors, your church leaders, or your politicians, or your idols, or your sports figures. Basically, humans just go around trying to act like other humans. You try to line up an archetype that you feel comfortable with, and you begin to pursue those things. Human beings, see, from the God view, I look down and I see this archetype. And then I see all these people that like to follow after this rapper or actor or politician or whatever, and people assimilate their thinking, their walk, their way, their hands, their job. They begin to assimilate. Like they want to be like that person, right? Unfortunately, all your role models are pieces of shit. So, hence the problem, right? So what is it that I would really want? I want independent, free-spirited human beings to love me, love creation. Say, okay, if I can work this on my left hand, will God help me work the rest of it on the right hand? Absolutely. We join hands and then we push forward on actually changing things for the better. How can we make the creation more beautiful and stable? How can we, introduce, that's another thing, like how am I supposed to introduce more animals and have more habitats when humanity thinks that they belong, they should be able to live in the fucking mountains or in the ocean or in the valley or in the desert or in the beaches, or where is any place that a human being doesn't want to live? You guys are an infestation, not friends. You are a burden on my creation, you are a burden on my angels, and you have gotten on my last nerve. And frankly, I'm going to take out all my aggression in these end days. Because once everyone's dead, then I will go upstairs not remorseful, but then I will go upstairs learned. I will go upstairs and know how shitty every human being is and how shitty your outcomes all are. Because your number one enemy is yourself. You're selfish. You care not about another person. You care more about yourself. You care more about how you look, how you dress, what you eat, what you wear, what you drive, where you live, even to the damn point of what your kids look like. And so help me in my name, you guys get offended if this happens or that happens or this happens. You're so enamored in your own little porcelain fake bullshit lives that it's going to take me crushing it to break you. And for most of you, you'll break and then you'll perish. Few, very few, will be able to wake up, smell the roses. Very few. And I hope that there are more than just a few, but it's not looking good. So I'm gonna take 5. All right. So where do we kind of go from here? How other than basically, I want to talk about a little story here. So I said this one time before, and I was laughed and mocked and all this, which seems to be the tone of humanity. You laugh and mock all like little spoiled children, who laugh and mock the parent who's trying to look out for their best interest, and it's like that teenager that has everything, every game system, lives in the nicest house, and yet they are still the family disappointment. They are still a shitbag. That's how I feel about humanity. Because let's say that there are other planets out there and they all have a god just like me. And those gods, you could argue, are better at their job than me. A planet that has less than 10% of the biodiversity of planet Earth. Because those gods don't want to give you little lizards, right? To give you a little bit of a Easter egg for the previous inhabitants, the prehistoric times, right? Instead of having massive man-eating dinosaurs, you get cute little lizards, right? You get wonderful butterflies, you get a biodiversity like no other planet has ever seen before. Why? Because you have a ass-busting creator simply trying to make the environment for you so good that the experiment that I'm trying is that if I give humanity the closest thing to heaven, maybe, just maybe, they could cooperate with me like the angels. That maybe, just maybe, we can get the physical earth to a degree of acceptance for me to then give you another planet. But that's not what we're working for. We're working for, everyone's working their own God agenda. That's what I mean. If you're in the food business, you're trying to sell more fucking Doritos. And that's another thing. Everyone's in a service job. No one actually does anything. Very rarely. And all the ideas you come up with are self-serving. That is the opposite point of creation. I should be like those other gods, and I should just collapse the biodiversity in your planet and make it a hellish landscape for you to then try to thrive under the most harshest of conditions. Because instead of putting you in a hellscape for you to learn through primitive means how to be good and how to maintain it and how to be charitable out of necessity versus desire. See, I, as Elohim, went against the grain and said, what if we give them everything we have? What if we give every animal that we've ever created in the abode to humans? Would they appreciate it as much as us? Would they be able to step outside every day and see themselves in creation and have a heart-driven desire to make it better and to work with me and the team of angels that are in just one dimension above you? But no. You walk outside and you would more likely step on a butterfly, kick a slug, run over a lizard, hit a bird on your busy way to work to get to the building that just crushed 10 acres of forest so you could have a bunch of comfy office buildings that look like crap. And you care not about anything other than yourselves. Like, you're broken. As a species, you're broken. You are abominations. And then throw a little bit of this primitive religious bullshit in the mix, and then you get what we have here. I personally think that in some ways hell would be better than the planet as it sits today, ran by a bunch of selfish, idiot, and pious human beings. They're all abominations to me. And that's the thing. You know, you guys are like colonies too, you know. If you had a big web of flies, you know, one fly gets clipped. The rest of them don't really care. They're like, oh, we're just gonna go suck on poop. You know, all the flies just want to go land on poop. It's human beings. If it's a dumb idea, you're on it. If it's a selfish thing, you're on it. If it's that's another thing. Like, you exploit sex, a reproductive necessity for your own existence. How in the hell has a species exploited the reproductive process at the extent that you have? It's not okay. It's not the way. You all want to rant and rave and say that you're somehow a divine being, but yet you prove it every day that you're not, because you do not have a heart that is given in heaven. Because if you did, you would care more about others than yourself. You would care more about the creation than man's works. You would care more about what I say than any pastor, teacher, rabbi, pope, bishop, period. You would do your best to stay out of man's contraptive ways and lean more into the heavenly ways. And if you're a person of authority and a position, then you would actually know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, that if we're trying to make, me being here is trying to, you know, make heaven on earth, right? The new earth state. But the thing is, if the citizens of the earth don't give a shit about that, and you guys are so preoccupied with doing your own thing, your own government, your own red tape, your bureaucracy, your fucking laws this, your laws that, like everything else, then why should I be the only one that cares? Like, really? Why should I be the only one that cares? And I'll tell you this. Like, as far as I'm concerned, if every human on the planet Earth dies, I'm not bringing back humans. Just like I did not bring back dinosaurs, right? The only best thing you guys got from the dinosaur era was the little lizards and alligators and turtles and salamanders. And there's just... oh my God. It's gonna be a rough time going forward. I'm just warning you. Your blackouts was one fit of rage for me in the sun. And the thing is, you're like roaches. I'm gonna have to burn this place end to end to really get my point across. You know, that's what I mean. You know, and the thing is, you know, the ones that may not be so bad are drowned out by the very ones that they pick to lead the way, and the person who leads the way is in the wrong. They're in the wrong purpose. You know, now Trump thinks that he runs the world. This is what I mean, you know. I give humans what they want and they shit on me. Every time. That seems to be the tempo that we're at. I fulfill, I get scoffed, laughed, and snickered at in the corner. No matter what I do. You guys are just awful. You know, I've been watching this show with the wife, and it's Industrial Light and Magic, about the company ILM George Lucas started back in the 70s. And it's a really neat show. But you know, when George Lucas first started coming up with the script for Star Wars, that was none other than the divine hand guiding him. And no one's even really asked what the purpose was, right? The purpose actually was to give human beings a sense of what could be. And instead of it being taken in any kind of like emotional manner to actually make any changes in a positive light, right? It actually was taken as just big screen fun. And that's kind of what I mean, right? It'd be like, I don't even know. Honestly, I'm getting so exhausted trying to get through to humanity. I don't even know if I have the patience anymore. I really don't. Like, I don't even know if I have the patience anymore. I'm so... Every day, I see nothing but bullshit on every corner. And the only thing that I really have to use is taking people out of the game. Like, getting them out. And that's my process. You know? Unless the world as a whole can just stand upright and look around and go, you know what? This whole playing church crap with the pope, whatever, like, stop it. You know? Pastor this, rabbi that. Like, these guys are dressed up thinking they're something. You know? They walk into their big freaking churches thinking they're something. You're nothing. You speak words in the Bible that they make you think that you're somehow connected to me. You're false. You're false prophets. You're liars. You all are. Even ones that I once considered at least an ally of the kingdom, I denounce you as well. Because you know what? You know what? On those in those other places, imagine their God saying, "Well, I'm not going to give them a diverse ecosystem. I'm not even going to give them the choice of really food. I'm not going to give them the choice of housing. I'm not even going to give them the pleasure of reproduction." Right? And lots of things in creation, reproduction is actually more of a chore than anything. And humans have managed to turn it again into an impious thing. Which is probably the only good point I have today is, and believe it or not, again, that's another thing, right? You can believe me or not believe me. And frankly, I don't really give a shit which one you do. For your sake, you should believe me. But if you don't, it doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, you're all stuck here. I'm not. Me, Asherah, Cameron, and Jacob are not. And before this place goes kaboom, I'll be gone. My sons and my wife will be gone. I go up and down to heaven all the time. Heaven is my home. Earth is my workplace. And I'm pretty pissed off at my workplace. So, the point I was making is that is how historically other creations have been ran. More closer to a maximum security prison than a place of adventure, a place of discovery, a place of harmony, a place, because the entire purpose, like, what's my purpose in doing this? My purpose is to, instead of beating it out of you, right? Instead of putting you in a maximum security planet that is a hellscape and that you learn the skills of charity, of modesty, of understanding, of creativity, solving your problems. Creating a poop Pez dispenser is not solving your problem. Creating any and everything that comes into your stupid little minds to put on a factory floor and to sell it for $1.99 is not the way. If there are empty shelves because of trading with China, then so fucking be it. Your stores were too big anyway. You guys overbuy to the point that you need more money, to the point where you need a better job, and then you just continue on the cycle. And at any time, none of you even recognize that you're running in the opposite direction of what I, as God, as Elohim, am telling you to do. But because it don't match up to what you want, you're like, no, as long as we sing this fucking song and we do this feast and we go to church on Sunday, every other thing I do is up to me. It's ridiculous is what I'm saying. It's ridiculous. You act ridiculous, and yet you say I act ridiculous. If you were in my position and you come to earth and everything you see on every corner, in every person's face, and everything you see and smell and taste and hear and feel is not only abrasive, it is disgusting, it is defilement, it is unrighteous, it is evil, it is wicked, and you all like it. How then am I supposed to act? Because I guarantee you, there are plenty of people who want to tell me how to act. Just like the international courts want to tell Israel how appropriate it is or it isn't to take vengeance out upon the very people that kidnapped their people first. You are all an abomination, and I am sending Azrael. Mark it. Pat it with a bead. I don't give a shit. But it's coming. The storm is coming. I am the storm. The quake is coming. It's happening. It's already been set. Like a little egg timer, it's already been set. Like a woman giving birth, it can't be stopped. Once she goes into labor and the earth is in labor, the birth pangs are going to get so bad the woman begins to wail with pain, such as every human on planet Earth, except my family, myself, and those I'm in covenant with. That is why it's important. But to be in covenant with me means you have done a turnabout face. You're putting down every day you wake up and open your eyes. Make a list. What God wants me to do, what mankind wants me to do. Start working through that. Stadiums being funded with public money, you're insane. I will torch your stadium. I suggest you heed my warning. You could apply that money to fixing your water system. It's poisoning your people. You could apply that money to... There are other power sources that human beings are not going to be allowed to even touch that I could give you today. Today, I could tell you within less than 15 minutes on a video, I could uncover another power source that would be greater, stronger, more efficient, tenfold. But why would I do that for then it to be exploited? And then guess what? All the humans, like honeybees on honey, you all are going to come in there and everything I've given you. Speaking of George Lucas, I like George Lucas, actually a lot. And I did save George Lucas's life in a car accident. And guess what? He may or may not understand what happened during that time period, but I actually spoke to him and gave him a choice. He's either going to make Star Wars for a purpose divinely inspired by me, and he had no really idea how to do it, but I walked him hand in hand through and through until we did it, because the overall thing I was hoping that was going to be a complete change of mind and heart, to see human beings say, oh my gosh, look what we can do. Look how creative we can be. Look what's possible. And not only possible, but probable. Where in any shape or form does it say that I, as God, am supposed to only have one creation and one human family? No, it doesn't say that at all. At all. And considering we're talking about dimensions, see, again, I missed my wife's body birth day was today. So, that's not something. I don't celebrate my own birthday, and I don't look at anybody else, at least in my family, right? Because we have body births, but I don't count body births really, because the time gets me all weird. So, point being is time, and a bee lives a fulfilled life, right, in about 20 to 23 days. It's an entire lifetime for that bee, right? And that bee gets that full experience. So it's not like the bee's missing anything. It's a part of their makeup. Human being, you last temporary too. And that's what I mean. You guys are made temporary. So you're born and you hit the ground and you have all these ambitions, and you have like, I gotta leave my mark, I gotta be important, I gotta make money, I gotta be the head of the church, all these fucking things. And for what? For what? Would you act different if you knew you had eternal life and you knew you weren't going to die next week, next year, the next 100 or 500 years? Do you think you'd walk differently? Do you think you would listen to me? These are questions you got to ask yourself. Because I call them man traps. That's what they are. Everything is a man trap. And human beings think you're so smart. Well, then I suggest you try to start unfucking yourself before I continue to lay down the law. I will be laying down fire, ice, hail, tornadoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, and throw in a couple of 100 million perilous events stretched between war and, I don't know, cliffside, mudslides, oh, you name it. Especially when I start working over there in the Far East and the Middle East. I have yet to really get to the Middle East because, oh, that place really gets on my nerves. Ooh. Whew. But, so, take it, leave it, don't really care. But it does serve as a witness unto myself and a bit of venting. So, have a good Tuesday. Enjoy my tornadoes. And, yeah, go ahead and kiss some of your asses goodbye.